Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Annie and this is Unity Consciousness. Thank you so much for stopping by today. I'd like to welcome our new subscribers and also thank those of you who are returning for this week's energy update. So let's jump right in. We talked about today's energy. It's a little complex. The sun is going to quincunx both Uranus and also Neptune, while Neptune and Uranus are sextiling each other, creating a yod, with the apex being at that sun sign in the latter degrees of Libra. So this is integrating a higher level of consciousness into our relationships in an effort to regain ultimate balance. And that balance that we're trying to regain is sovereignty and freedom together with compassion and unconditional love, allowing others to be who they are, as well as us to have our sovereignty and freedom, and allowing that to be in relationship with each other. We're breaking those codependent ties, if you will. This is really making some headway in that direction. Now, tomorrow we will have Mars, which is in shadow and in the sign of Cancer, is going to square Eris and Aries. And this is, emotionally triggering disputes or chaos. We've spoke about this. Mars and Eris in the world of mythology were related, so this could be family dynamics, but this is a square with Eris, so it is energy that's going to be triggering. I'm not going to lie about that. Then the next day, the very next day, which is Tuesday, we have Mercury, which is in the sign of Scorpio, thank goodness, can go deep, is going to trine Saturn, which is retrograde in the sign of Pisces. And here comes this deep conversation that is going to cause us to pivot or review, because Saturn is retrograde in the sign of Pisces. Our level of responsibility relative to a situation that's most likely from the past. Like I said, we're reviewing it, we're pivoting on something, and authenticity is going to bring resolve. Remember, authenticity is very important when we are dealing with Saturn retrograde, all right? On that same day, we will have the sun, which is at the anaretic or end degrees of Libra, is going to square Pluto, which is near the end also of Capricorn. Now, the difference this time in this square is Pluto is direct. Pluto is no longer retrograde. This is the last time the sun in the sign of Libra is going to square Pluto and Capricorn for quite some time, over 240 years. So we can now see where balance and diplomacy are absolute incessant need to have balance and diplomacy at all costs has resulted in us losing power. We wanted balance so bad that we've lost power somehow. And now we're beginning to see that. And then the sun is going to move into Scorpio, which is really going to help us a lot. That sun in Scorpio is asking us to tap into our intuition, wants us to go deep, and it's going to help us with personal transformations. We're beginning to see some of that dysfunction in the balance that we so desperately had to have. And maybe there was codependency in that because it just had to be balanced at all costs, even giving our own power away. Well, like I said, Scorpio is going to help with that personal transformation. We are also recognizing that there's power in powerlessness. So if you need to have balance, if it's an absolute necessity and that leaves you powerless, let's take a look at where the power lies within that powerlessness, because there absolutely is power in letting things go as well. The sun can absolutely set on our need for balance the minute it dips into Scorpio. It is an entirely different vibe. And, being honest, going deep, digging deep until you find those answers, that's our superpower now. So happy birthday, Scorpio. Happy birthday, Scorpio. Welcome to Scorpio season. And trust yourself and let your intuition lead the way. I don't think it's going to lead you astray. Not now. Not for the next 4 weeks anyway. Then on Thursday, which I believe is the 24th already, we have Mars, which is in shadow in Cancer, is going to sextile Uranus. Pretty excited about this. And this Uranus is in Taurus. So of course there's going to be instability because it's Uranus, but this is a sextile. We need to do something to get something. I love using Uranus energy because you want to instigate, you want to change it up, right? You want to change it up. Now, what's interesting, this is part of the Mars retrograde cycle. This is the first sextile that's going to be of 3. So right now we've got Mars in shadow, Uranus is retrograde. The next time these two planets come together in sextile formation is going to be January 23rd, where both planets, I believe, will be retrograde. Uranus is going to be just about ready to come out of retrograde. And then the third and final sextile between these two planets is next April, April the 4th, and both planets will be direct. So good idea to journal. Because we are going to see some changes and some pivots because we've got these planets doing the same dance in the same signs 3 times over the course of Mars retrograde season. It's here to teach us something. So the best thing to do is to journal, or if you can remember, especially with these big from now till January might go by like that, considering October certainly has. But if not, you want to make notes so you know exactly what was going on, so that when the opportunity pops back up and these two planets have another conversation, of sextile conversation, we can go back to our notes and see where we're pivoted, see how we're progressing in this Mars retrograde cycle. It is, personally for me, I'm going to, Mars is in Cancer, so this is like home and family. So I want to liberate this area because I'm talking about Uranus, right? I want to liberate this area. Home and family matters. I'm going to change up the status quo, doing something different. Not sure what that's going to be yet, but it might become boldly obvious to me on Thursday. But I'm going to change up the status quo. It's either going to happen unexpectedly, or I can do it myself. I'm not sure which, or maybe both. We're not sure yet. But definitely journal those happenings because it'll be fun to pivot back and see where we're at in January and then where we're at in April with this energy as it comes together 3 times. Also, on the 27th, which is a week from today, we have some very interesting energy. We've got quincunx between Chiron and Mercury. We've got a quincunx between Mercury and Jupiter. And then we've got a quincunx between the North Node and the Sun. So really, that speaks to me of wonky communications. There's just quincunx energy. You really have to massage. You have to kind of figure out what works best. It's not copacetic energy. You really kind of have to pivot because the elements are so different. They don't really work together. So if you're experiencing communication difficulties or any other difficulties, let's give it a day or 2 because it's just the energy of that day. Next weekend, real quick before we close out, next weekend I am going to be traveling. So I'm not certain that I'll be able to get a video out on Sunday. It might be Monday. And given my travels and all of the unexpected occurrences that could happen over the course of the next week, I hope to get a video out, but if I don't, I'll be back the following week. And with that said, we will be focusing on some very challenging energy coming up, and that's going to be Mars at an anaretic degree of Cancer is going to oppose Pluto in anaretic degree or 29 degrees of Capricorn. So challenging energy on the 3rd of November, so I'll certainly be back before then so we can talk more about that. Well, I decided to use the Journey Tarot deck today with Cassie Uhl. I really enjoy this deck. I love the art. I think it's beautiful. Okay, so let's see who jumped out. The High Priestess. Let's see what the book has to say. Connect with your divine feminine energy, intuition, and inner guidance system. You, yes, you, have access to the inner wisdom of the universe. The High Priestess is anointing you with sacred knowledge. Be open to receiving. And this is what I mean about that sun moving into Scorpio. This energy is going to be profound and it's going to be with us. You will be able to tap into it, use it where necessary. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. If you like this video, please do click the like button. If you want to know when videos are being dropped, please click the subscribe button. If you have any comments or suggestions, post them in the comment box below. I'd love to hear from you. You know that. You want to co-create with me? Let's share the videos with others that may need them. I hope you have a fantastic week. Namaste.